public session. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, we have our GC Pride Awards. He's coming.
Good morning, good evening, President Coffey, members of the board, and Superintendent Daly. Tonight, I'm here to present the GC Pride Award to Ken Bostic. Unfortunately, he's not able to be here tonight, but I'd like to take this opportunity to recognize him publicly. Ken Bostic exemplifies the Spartan way through his consistent demonstration of respect, responsibility, compassion, and hard work. With over 40 years of experience in the construction trade, Ken brings exceptional skill, dedication to every task. Whether it's adjusting doors, building walls, or hanging TVs, his willingness to take on any project, no matter the challenge, reflects his strong work ethic and pride in his craft. He's also unafraid to speak up and share his insights when he recognizes potential issues, always with the goal of improving our district and ensuring the best outcomes for our students and staff. His professionalism, reliability, and commitment to excellence make him a true asset to the maintenance team and a deserving recipient of the GC Pride Award.
All right, that moves us on to agenda changes.
We had updates to personnel.
Thank you. I just wanted to welcome everyone here tonight. It's a wonderful day. We got to spend some time outside looking at some of the work that's been done around our campus and really just get to start feeling all those pieces fall together. So thank you so much for your time and your willingness to talk us through all those parts. I also drove by Brasser the other day for the first time in a while. It's my first year without a child there. So that little 11-year-old man, you would have thought the world was ending. She was so excited we had to pause driving, safety first. But she was so excited just to see all the changes in her school that she'd been in for so many years. So that's always wonderful to see our kids' excitement too for the things that we're doing to support their learning and their safety and their comfort and their school environment. Had wonderful conversations both at home and with people throughout the district around those 5-week reports that come out, and just that time to pause and check in and see how are we doing as a team, how are we doing as individuals, where are we succeeding, where can we reflect and do different interventions or different approaches together. And again, just as my kids are growing older, having that different type of conversation around it is wonderful to see all that work coming together for everybody. Do we have any points of interest that anyone would like to share? Mr. Long.
Yes, I got to attend all of the Hall of Fame events last Thursday and Friday as a new Hall of Famer in the Gates-Chalais Central School District. But I do want to say, in an honest comment here, is that you guys really shined as a district. You know, from Laura Braid, I know Eva did a lot with us. You and Mitch, Mr. Superintendent, coming in and speaking with the group, not saying this in the right way, but really selling the district, but showing what was going on. Obviously, I have a little more knowledge than the rest of the people that were there, but for the people from the outside that were coming in and seeing what Gates-Chalais has turned into, such as Tony, who graduated the year before me, and just seeing that when we went here, and Steve will probably agree with this one, there was trash cans in hallways stopping leaks and no air conditioning, no heat, and the place is really dilapidated and falling apart in the sports facilities. We got to see some amazing sports facilities today. The technology wing, all the stuff that you guys are doing here is really put Gates-Chalais on the map and making it top notch. And you guys really sold yourselves the other day to a group of people that came in, and you guys treated us like royalty for 2 days, which was like kind of cool. I don't get that at home, so coming here was awesome. So thank you and good job.
Thank you. Any additional points of interest? Ms. Davis?
I just want to shout out the homecoming events of last week. I know the students had a great time all week at the high school and the middle school with their pep rallies and all the theme days. And then the parade was just great, great community event, really brought everyone together. It was great to be in it and see all the people that came out of their houses and lined the streets and, you know, came to see their kids and their teams and the schools. And then everything after with the food trucks and the game, it was just all just wonderful. As well as the homecoming dance on Saturday. My daughter went, said it was a great time. So really big thank you to everyone involved in that and in what it was this year to make it better than ever before. So thanks.
Thank you. Any additional points? All right. Did we have any meetings that we need to report out on? No? Okay. Do you have one?
Maybe not. That's okay. My voice is big. Good evening, everyone. Just wanted to report as a voting delegate for NISBA that we had a very exhilarating, semi-long meeting of the voting delegates on the October 16th. And actually, in all transparency, those meetings usually go until 10, 11 o'clock at night, but we actually finished rather early. But we did have some discussion on some policies and things that'll be coming down the pipeline for the state. Definitely a lot of changes, but not all negative, a lot of positive changes that'll be happening in the school district. So once our report is drafted, I will be forwarding that to my fellow board members.
Thank you. Do we have any visitor comments? No? All right, that moves us on to the reports portion of our evening. We have our capital project update.
Good evening, everyone. So we're here for the Building Brighter Futures and the Future Ready project tonight. But a quick thing, we've been coming to several board meetings now. We just wanted to give a quick reintroduction because there's a couple new faces around the table. My name is Joe Pilato. I'm a senior project manager for Campus Construction Management.
And I am Kurt Vader with SCI Design Group, project manager.
All right. So in the Building Brighter Futures project, this is coming to a close. We're hoping to close this out in December, January. Our phase one work, which at this point is just the middle school music area, the last month, our 4 prime contractors, they've started the interior masonry walls, the exterior walls, and the interior metal stud walls. They've actually, as of today, started insulating that space as well. And then they've started the exterior brickwork, which will be ongoing for another couple of weeks. Our mechanical, electrical, and plumbing contractors are just installing their ductwork, their conduits, and in terms of the plumbing, the roof drains. So they're going to continue to work through the space really until it's finished with all the behind-the-scenes items. Phase 2, our site work contractor for the Spartan Park, grading, topsoiling, and seeding around the fields, as well as there's just a little bit more, but they're nearing completion on the sidewalks around that entire complex. And the scoreboard installation is complete. We just need to get that hooked up to power and tested. General trades, this is mostly at Florence Brasser, but the areas were turned over this summer. We have moved into the spaces that were occupied. That would be the old nurse's office, the old main office, and the art room. All of that, all those spaces, the walls are framed and drywall is up, and they're starting to finish that as of today. And then in the middle school fields, the masonry dugouts, all the roofing except the actual metal panels is in place. Our plumbing contractor, mechanical and electrical, same sort of thing with the phase 1. They're working right behind our general contractor in those Florence Brasser spaces behind the walls and above where the ceilings will be to get the heating elements, the plumbing elements, and just the lights, power, anything like that in place before we finish it. The next month, so November, the middle school music, we're going to start drywalling and finishing those spaces. A few of you that came through this afternoon, they're large spaces. There's a lot to do still, but we're very optimistic for that. And then, like I mentioned before, the brick facade, MEP installation, so mechanical, electrical, plumbing is going to be ongoing. And then door and window installations is going to start at the end of next week. Right before the weather turns, we're going to really seal the building together. Phase 2, Florence Brasser, same thing, the old nurses, the art room, and the old main office, as well as instrumental music. Finishing those walls, starting to put devices in the walls, and then there's some hallway tile work that still needs to be done, and some painting. And then, Mrs. Coffey, as you alluded to earlier, we're finishing up the metal panels on the outside of Florence Brasser as well. The Phase 2 fields, the plantings, which the trees were put in today, the final fencing work, so there's a few gates that need to be installed, the sidewalk paving, as I mentioned earlier, and then in November, we'll be commissioning the stadium light poles. And then Phase 3, we have started that. The demolition is complete in that space, so next week, we're going to do the site work, so there's a concrete ramp and an asphalt sidewalk that leads up to it, the interior plumbing underground, and then we're going to start wall framing in November as well. Budget, Phase 1 and 2 and 3 have not changed. Between Phase 1 and 2, we're 83–84% billed by those contractors. As I mentioned, we're really coming to a close here, hopefully by the end of the year. Contingency-wise, we're still at about $1.6 million, and allowances, we've expended just about $390,000 of our $570,000. Some photos. The inside of the middle school music, all of the new spaces have very high ceilings, which I think they will very much appreciate. This is a shot of the outside before the moisture barrier is installed, and this is where they have started the brickwork. There's that moisture barrier. Inside the dugouts, there's benches, helmet racks, bat racks. Those are all installed and will be ready to use in the spring. This is the center sort of gathering area for the fields with a big GC logo. This is a different turf than what's on the fields, meant for more just general foot traffic. New sidewalk along the existing parking lot there for anyone parking, have access to the fields along with new lights, and then there will be new pedestrian lights around the entire complex. Nothing crazy, but in the Florence Brasser art, all of that red blocking is where cabinets will end up. So there will be a lot of storage, similar to the middle school art space, a lot of storage in these rooms. A soffit. This will be the bathroom. This was a bathroom previously in the nurses' space. It will now be accessible from the hallway side instead of inside of the old nurses' space. Another shot of that. Some drywall, very riveting photos there. And then instrumental music, there's a new air handler that goes in the backspace, and this area is being expanded slightly. And then this is the middle school bathrooms. This was a boys and girls bathroom before. It'll be turned into single-use bathrooms, which will both feed the building and the fields. So this is the space with all of the interior walls knocked down before we start reframing new spaces. Any questions on the Building Brighter Futures project? Yes.
So you're putting the sidewalks along the parking lot in the back of the middle school. What's going to be there to divide them so that you don't drive up onto the sidewalk?
That's a great question. I do not remember off the top of my head. I can get that answer back to you. Unless you know.
I thought we had curve there.
We will get back to you with that answer.
Any other questions? No, thank you guys so much. Oh.
There's more.
I was just gonna say for that part, I was gonna say that it was really cool to see just from up close how tall like 40 feet and 120 feet actually are. Just knowing that they are relatively closer to the road, and the nets are just, 40 feet's really tall. So I just appreciate all the pieces and the planning going into that part.
Welcome. So I'm going to talk about the Future Ready project, which was voted in February of '25. We talk about the proposed scope of work, history, a little bit how we got here, and project timeline moving forward. Just as a recap, this project was voted in February of 2025. It is broken up into 4 phases that we'll show you. That was to maximize a number of items, schedule, scope, and aidability. The most immediate items of the capital project were designed first. That was what we call a phase 1 or a 25-1 project. That went to SED yesterday, where it will be going through its permit process, and the intent, it will go through a timeline, will be to put that out to bid in the next couple of months. The proposed scope of work for that was at the high school, field fencing, gates and bleachers. So there is a stadium or seating on one side of the main field. We are putting a visitor bleachers, permanent bleachers on the other side of the field. There is going to be also fencing around the entire stadium with slide gates strategically placed around, and a main grand entry with a arch entry to as an approach. At the middle school, air handler replacements. You're going to see a common theme. This project, was that close enough? I just realized. You're going to see a common theme for this project is a lot of infrastructure upgrades. If you kind of think like your house, most of your buildings are similar to your house in the sense that you replace your roof, you replace your water heater, you replace furnaces. Same thing with educational buildings. A lot of, the district is very good at maintaining and understanding useful life, and most of these items that are getting replaced are nearing their end of useful life. So this is what the main goal of the project is for infrastructure replacements. Any air handler replacements that are going to be done, your mechanical units on your rooftops, also include air conditioning upgrades. So when you see that phrase, there's also air conditioning associated with that. Neil Armstrong and Walt Disney, all the classrooms, the original classrooms have carpeting that has been replaced at least once. We're taking that out and putting in new carpeting. This is carpeting that is also stain resistant, water resistant, which is also the carpeting also contributes to the sound deadening in the classrooms as well, which is nice. And then the operations center, we are relocating the facilities work area from the brick building across from the high school over to the operations center, so upgrading their services. Also with a warming kitchen and a training area renovations in the meeting room. Like I mentioned, the project voted into February of '22. We've been holding stakeholder meetings right from then, right up until the fall of this year. And then that project has been went into SED yesterday, like I said, sorry. Campus has been working with estimating and project planning as well, which we will review in a minute. Oh, sorry, wrong part. Went out to bid, wrong one. Yesterday. Yeah, sorry, dropping the hook. 22 is the one at 25-2 is the next one, is the, sorry. 25-2 is the phase 2 portion of the project. That is the library and media center renovations at all 4 elementary schools. We've been meeting with the library staff and principals, and the intent is to have that work done at the Neil Armstrong, Paul Road, and Walt Disney. We met with Florence Brasser during the entire design process, but that work won't happen until phase 4 to maximize the maximum cost allowances that state aid has. The building, the Florence Brasser, is currently under construction. The aid for that building, New York State regenerates the aid every 5 years. So that is designed into this process. Again, the mechanical units are being replaced at high school, middle school, and the elementary schools, and also include the air conditioning. Been meeting with the district staff, all of the principals and librarians. We submitted that, that's the one I meant to say, is that we submitted that to SED yesterday with anticipation of that coming out in the next couple of months for bidding, and then keeping the succession of construction through. As I mentioned before, there are 2 other phases, phase 3 and phase 4. Phase 3 would be more roadway replacements, continued unit ventilators, which are unit ventilators are inside of the building, rooftop units on top of the roof. Again, these are aging out pieces of equipment that the district is deemed needed being replaced. And then in phase 4, we're continuing with exterior roadway replacements, unit ventilator, and then we circle back to Florence Brasser. So the library and media center renovations, kitchen, and cafeteria renovation. So that would get overhauled as well, similar to the main entry and nurse suite that was done in this project. This is the graph just showing the process. It's similar to every project goes through the planning stage, the design phase, and the construction phase. Big picture during the design phase, big items, big picture. As you go through the design phase, you hone in on those details, and then you start work, once it goes to SED, goes through the construction phase. As you can see, there's 3 dots, 3 stars up there for the phases. Phase 3 and 4, we're gonna be starting design. Phase 1 is out to bid at the moment, and then phase 2 is at SED. So concurrently keeping these in flow. Phase 1 timeline, out to bid. Bids will be opening November 12th. We'll be in front of you proposing contracts, awards for contracts on November 18th, and construction starts January 5th. Phase 2 timeline, the SED submission will be occurring in December. Again, that will be there a couple of months with the intention of bringing it out to bid, getting it out to bid in spring, and running concurrently with phase 1. This gets a little bit longer. Phase 3 starts, once phase 2 goes into SED, we start designing on phase 3 with the intent of submitting that in December of 26. Phase 4, the big one would be the Florence Brasser renovations, starts in April of 28, submission in 29, construction till 2032. Sorry for that flub up there, but any questions?
So just for clarification again, phase 1 has been submitted to go out to bid today. So with all the plans confirmed out
Yeah.
for bidding.
It's out to bid.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions? Thank you, guys.
Cool, thank you.
Next, we have our operations, our facilities and security report.
Good evening. I'm here to provide an update for our operations. As you know, over the summer, we had a restructuring. I am in charge of our facilities department, our security department, our transportation department, our food and school nutrition department, and construction. Under that umbrella of construction falls the clerk of the works. This is our team. Myself, the Executive Director of Operations and Security, Ms. Anna Lamb, who is our Director of Construction and Safety Compliance, Janice Phillips is our School Nutrition Director, Matt Hembold is our Director of Transportation, we have Joe DeSanto, who is our Facility Supervisor, Steve Torres, who is our Security Supervisor, and Richard Pound, who is our Clerk of the Works. And supporting us all is Mary Pat Steiner, who is our Administrative Assistant. I like to say that we are the backbone of the district, supporting the great work that happens each and every day. As you previously heard from the Office of Instruction and Student Support Services, we're here to assist and elevate the experience for our staff and for our students in the district. That begins with transportation, getting the students to school safely and on time each and every day, which moves on to our facilities department, which is having clean and well-maintained buildings and grounds for instructional learning. Our school nutrition folks who provide students with the nutrition necessary for the health and growth of their minds and bodies. And finally, our safety and security department, which are providing a safe learning environment for our students, staff, and community. Tonight, we're here to highlight the operations with facilities department, that will be done by Joe DeSanto, our supervisor, and our security department, which will be done by Steve Torres.
Good evening. I'm Joe DeSanto, facility supervisor. Thanks for having me tonight, and I'll take you through a little bit of a facilities update. So first, our mission statement. Working together to provide a clean, safe, secure, and aesthetically pleasing environment to enhance the educational and community experience, exceeding all expectations and in support of the district's mission and values. Department snapshot. We have facility supervisor, myself, our administrative assistant, which Sam mentioned is Mary Pat. We have 1 full-time courier, 5 full-time maintenance workers, 4 full-time grounds people, excuse me, 1 seasonal groundsman, an average of about 8 summer staff members. We have 6 head custodians, 4 custodians, 4 lead cleaners, 31 cleaners, and 5 substitutes. Maintaining over 820,000 square feet of building space and approximately 230 acres of land, our maintenance and grounds are incredibly busy daily. We have 21 athletic fields, including 3 baseball fields, 3 softball fields, and Spartan Stadium. We have 12 tennis courts to maintain, 8-lane track and field complex. These areas serve over 3,900 students and 750 staff members and are open to our community for use during the week and on the weekends. Our staff is responsible for all the maintenance, repair, preventative maintenance of both the interior and exterior of our school buildings. Our next slide is Spartans in new roles. We have Todd Carr, who is joining the high school as the head custodian. He served in that same role at the middle school. We have Giovanni Folletti, who is serving as the head custodian at the middle school, and he was promoted from custodian at the middle school. And then we have Wade Walker, who was a supervisor at Paul Road, who is now the Walt Disney head custodian. So a snapshot of our custodial. Our head custodians, and cleaners clean and maintain more than, again, 820,000 square feet. They're responsible for cleaning both the interior and exterior of our school buildings. Their tasks include disinfecting faucets, sinks, toilets, desks, and high touch points, sweeping, mopping, and refinishing floors, emptying trash, checking and refilling sanitary receptacles, community events setup and cleanup, dusting, checking and refilling dispensers, cleaning mirrors and glass, vacuuming carpet, and spot cleaning as needed, among many others. Specifically at the high school, we take a lot of pride in our setups, the amount of time we spend on setups, and making sure events go off smoothly. This is kind of how we cover that 820,000 square feet. I won't go through it all in details, but this is kind of how we do it with our staff, kind of a breakdown of that. Next is our summer projects. Every year we go through a stressful process of refinishing our gym floors, especially the high school. It's one of the largest wood floors in the nation. Also just regular maintenance of hallways and refinishing floors, cleaning and decluttering spaces, as you see here. Some of our parking lot improvements include, this summer, we were at Paul Road. We repaired, we had a water main leak at Paul Road last year. We did a milling project to make that parking lot more serviceable. Also, we did some relining at Neil Armstrong, as well as relining and paving at Neil Armstrong, as well as some line work from our own staff right here at the high school. Next is autonomous technology. The facilities department has added autonomous technology to its cleaning arsenal. And for those who don't know, that means robot. This improves efficiency by allowing our staff members to walk away and complete other tasks while the machine is running a cleaning cycle. Autonomous technology also enables us to provide actual data of what's being cleaned daily. So we're very excited about having this technology in our district. We're one of 2 or 3 districts in the entire area that have this technology. Next is our Nexus soap system. The Nexus soap system is a dispensing system that features a refillable cartridge, eliminating waste and cutting the district's soap cost by 50%. Generally, our cleaners will empty a soap dispenser, and in our past cartridges were not refillable, and they would have to waste probably about 10% of each cartridge This allows us to save that and be more efficient. And also the bonus is we have our new GC logo to enhance our powerful GC brand, replacing that pillar torch thing that I'm not quite sure what that is. So we're going to be working hard over the next 2 summers to continue replacing whatever that is. All right? Any questions?
I was just going to say thank you because as a parent at homecoming, and then I went to see my son the next day at his mod football game, everything, I don't know who did it, but it was impeccable, so thank you.
I'll pass that along. Thank you.
Hi all, how you doing? I'm here to do the safety and security update. My name is Steve Torres, I'm the security supervisor. So GC Security, the security staff is responsible for creating an overall safe environment for all students, staff, and community on a daily basis. Department snapshot, we have Executive Director of Operations, Sam Bell is our head, myself as the supervisor. We have 6 high school employees, 3 middle school employees, 3 daytime mobile units out at the elementaries and on campus. We have an afternoon mobile unit that works till 11:30 at night. We also have weekend coverage now, and we are in the process of hiring a floating security worker too. We also have a full-time SRO from Gates Police. We do have a few new leadership positions. We have new head security positions at the middle school and high school. Brian Hargather is our head security worker at the high school. Carrie Phelan is the head security worker at the middle school. These are to help with the day-to-day operations in the buildings, to be the go-to person for administration staff. It's just to help organize things a little bit better. Welcome to our new SRO. We have Officer Joe DiMartino from Gates Police. He has some Gates Child ties. His wife works in district office. He's doing a great job. Our new weekend coverage started last weekend. Charles Combach Jr. goes by Steve, he's been here for about 6 years. He provides coverage from 8 a.m. to 4:30 on the weekends. Covers sporting events, the increased community usage to our main campus, and some construction access things that are going on. We do have wireless access controls and automated door locks. Phase 1 of the installation at the elementary schools is complete. They're in full use right now. Phase 2, which includes the installation at the high school and middle school, will begin this fall. The functions are the doors will automatically lock during lockdown. There's no need to lock the door under stress with a key, and it's going to be integrated with our tap app and panic buttons that we have in the buildings. We have a PA digital display project going on too. Installation has begun at the middle school and high school. Middle school is getting close to being finished. A lot of the new displays are up. I know the wiring's done at the high school, I think, and are almost done, and that'll be getting going soon. The project includes new classroom locks and digital display message boards and PA speaker systems. During an emergency, audio and visual messages will be alerted through the building. These systems will be integrated with the TAP app and the auto door locks. The TAP app, we've been doing this for a year or 2 now. It's been fully rolled out, but we are starting to get more buy-in to a lot of the staff members, and the buildings are using them for all their mandated drills and stuff like that, so it's definitely helping out. This will also be incorporated with the district PA project and auto door lock project. Do we have any questions? No? All right, thank you.
Thank you, guys. We really appreciate the work and the update. Moving on, we now have our GC varsity baseball team trip discussion.
I apologize. I'm Dean Digi, I'm the varsity baseball coach, and I'm new to using a loudspeaker system, so bear with me, I apologize. I'm here to propose to continue a trip. We've had a tradition here at Gates Chili. We've gone on 8 spring trips. We try to do it every other year, and I'm proposing to go again this spring as far as with our varsity baseball team. The dates of the trip would be March 26th to March 30th. And the location, we would be going to Universal Studios in Florida, using the facilities down there. And we'd be participating in practices, scrimmages, games, team building activities in the parks and everything like that. Again, the dates are March 26th to the 30th. The cost is $2,200 per student, which is a little bit expensive. We do a lot of fundraising because I do want to make it an opportunity for every single player to be able to achieve and go to this. We've got that $2,200 includes airfare, all transportation in Orlando, 4 nights, 5 days at the Universal Studios, transportation to the facilities, the baseball complex, 2 baseball events per day, whether it be scrimmages, practices, games. In addition to that, we have unlimited use of batting cages inside practice fields. So it's a wonderful trip. It's very busy. The kids enjoy it, but there's a lot of baseball involved. As far as our fundraising activities, we had a baseball camp this summer that we raised some money. We're going to have a winter program or a winter baseball camp in addition to that, as well as selling candy bars, working concessions, and we're looking to develop a program for to hand out to parents this spring. Is the first time in our program. The reason that we do this is twofold. Number one, this is not, first of all, I'm remiss for saying, the facility looks incredible. The boys are excited. I'm excited. I've been looking from afar. We're excited to get on there, and we're just waiting to do it. We want to produce the best baseball that we can down there. And in upstate New York, in the month of March, that is not very conducive to baseball. This will help us, certainly, but getting down south and playing in the 80-degree weather of Florida is certainly a huge asset to that. The team building that we develop is tremendous. It's developed lifelong. It's a truly great experience. We create memories beyond the field. I can't tell you how many ball players have come back to a game and say, Coach, do you remember when we were down there and we played such and such from Virginia? And it gives our athletes a chance to see what's out there as far as not just in Section 5 in Monroe County, but we've played some schools from Georgia and Kentucky. We've seen some Florida schools. They're a little bit different than we are, but it's a great opportunity for the players. Shared experiences both on and off the field. The team building is tremendous. We're, as a team, 24 hours a day. And it's tremendous. They come down, the comments that we've gotten, responses from players has been tremendous in the past. And then intentional team building is one of the things that we do build into that also. With some scavenger hunts, just little team activities. We'll have some competitions developed around practices for championships and just goofy, fun activities that we do as a team. And then this is a picture from our last trip. You can see they have happy smiles on the boys' faces. This was after a long day after our second game of the day, so we were a little dragging, but they were still pretty excited for the trip. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going back. Are there any questions?
Any questions? No? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, next we have our GC Jazz Band trip discussion.
Good evening, Ms. Coffey, Mr. Daly, and members of the school board. My name is Chris Oldfield. I'm one of the band directors here at Gates Chili High School. It's my pleasure to be here this evening to talk to you guys about my proposed trip to Baltimore for the jazz band this year. Much like Dean just mentioned, the jazz band has a long history of travel. We've been traveling every other year since 2007, visiting many locations nationally, including New York City, Boston, Philadelphia, Orlando, and most recently Nashville 2 years ago. And these trips are just an invaluable experience for our students, getting out, experiencing these cities, getting their feet on the ground, and really getting a feel for the culture and the heartbeat of the music scene of some of the great American cities that are in this country. Baltimore was one that's been on my list. It's not a city that we've been to with the jazz band, so I just thought this would be a really nice opportunity to investigate and explore a city that not many of our students have been to. They have a really vibrant music scene, including jazz, and it's the birthplace of U.B. Blake and Billie Holiday, and it's going to be a really fun experience. The trip we have planned is for the weekend of April 17th, that's a Friday, through Monday, April 20th. This would involve just missing one day of school, Monday, April 20th. The Friday, we'd leave after school hours, and then we'd spend the weekend in Baltimore. Included right now, some of the trip highlights would be a concert lecture and performance at the Baltimore Symphony Orchestra, hearing Copland's Appalachian Spring and the Beethoven Sixth Symphony, with a pre-concert talk with Dr. Anna Salenza. We're also looking to visit the Reginald Lewis Museum of African American History and Culture, the National Aquarium, doing a harbor cruise, and we're also in the formative stages of finding a performance venue for the jazz band to perform someplace down in Baltimore, whether that be at a venue downtown or perhaps at a local college or university. So we will definitely make a performance aspect part of the trip, as we always do for jazz band. Right now, the current cost is going to be around $700 per student. That will include round-trip airfare in and out of Baltimore, accommodations at a local hotel, and as well as a few meal inclusions as well, as well as the tickets to the aforementioned events that we'll be attending. To get ready for the trip, we will have several fundraising opportunities. There's the ongoing traditional individual fundraisers we're doing. We just had the bottle and can drive. And also I'm going to plug our Java Jazz event, if you've never been, February 6th. It's a Friday night. We have both high school jazz bands play. The middle school jazz band plays. We bring in some guest artists. We have the Joey Stempian Big Band, the Molly Collins Quartet. And for the first time, we're actually inviting over another high school jazz ensemble is going to come and play. The Brockport High School Jazz Band is going to join us this year for Java Jazz. So it's going to be a fun event, and that's going to be on Friday, February 6th, starting at 5:30 in the PAC. Really fun night. So I invite you all to come out and support our students and check out a wonderful evening of jazz, coffee, and desserts. So Keandre is in my jazz band. So he's going to be the first one to know where the trip was. They've all been asking me. You know, I've been trying to keep it secret. So I'm sure Keandre is going to start spreading the word later on tonight. Yeah, but it's a really worthwhile venture for the kids. We've grown so much, as Dean mentioned too, with the baseball team. It's a great bonding experience for the kids, working towards a common goal of travel and experiencing a great American city is well worth it. And just getting outside of the confines of Monroe County and performing out nationally is just one of my personal favorite things to do as director of a music ensemble here at Gates Chili. With that, I open the floor to any questions that you guys might have about the trip.
Any questions? Thank you so much.
Very much.
Yep, thank you.
Well done.
All right, now we have our GC 8th grade trip discussion.
Good evening, President Coffey, Vice President Richards, Superintendent Daly, and the Board of Education. My name's Dan Zanowski. I am the proud principal of Gates Chili Middle School, here to present some information on our proposed destination for our 8th grade class trip in June. We conduct a class vote. What happens is we do our code of conduct and welcome back to school assemblies with each one of our grade levels. They go back, they do an activity in the classroom, and part of the 8th graders' activity is to vote on where they would like to potentially go for their class trip. Our 8th graders this year were proposed with 4 options. One was to Toronto for kind of like a medieval festival. One was to Niagara Falls, which traditionally the eighth grade class had gone on for several years consecutively. One was to Syracuse, kind of like a cool team building, Destiny USA video game arcade type experience. And then one was to Peak and Peak Resort, which ultimately was the top vote getter in this activity. We had about 80% of the class participate in the vote, and 50% of the voters indicated that Peak and Peak Resort would be their preferred destination. It is important to note that this is the destination that we went to last year for our 8th grade trip when we did the same model with some of the same locations, which gives us feedback administratively, class advisor-wise, and educator-wise, that the kids last year must have had a positive time, right? Because they were obviously telling their friends all about it, and their friends voted for it again. It is important to note last year there was rain during the trip as well, and about 50% of the activities are outside, and it still was the top vote getter for this year's 8th grade class. Peak and Peak Resort is year-round. It's used for skiing and wedding venues and things in the winter. In the summer months, it's turned into like a ropes course. There's mini golf, there's pools, there's basketball courts, there's beanbag toss, volleyball courts, you name it, they have it. They provide some supervision in addition with all the chaperones that we send from a school level. Supervision from a school level is about a 10-to-1 ratio in addition to all of the employees of the resort that help manage transition and spaces and things like that on the campus. Peak and Peak's 2 hours and 15 minutes away. And it is important to note that for 2 aspects of the resort, they do require waivers to be signed, specifically for any ropes courses that the kids want to participate in and for any swimming or water sports. We did have everybody in all families complete a waiver of students that went on the trip last year. The proposed date of the trip is the first Friday in June, June 5th. We would load the buses. They will be charter buses out of Gates-Chili Middle School at 6:45 a.m. It's a full day. The students are getting all 3 meals, some snacks, and a lot of fun on the road. They'll be back by 7 p.m. The proposed cost of the trip is $269 per student. It does include a charter bus, meals, snacks, cost of admission, and a class t-shirt. One important shift I want to highlight from last year is students, only students who went on the trip used to receive an 8th grade trip t-shirt in years past. We're moving that model to being all 8th graders receive a class trip to have a cohort and class identity and pride, regardless of if they attend the trip or not. We have plenty of scholarship opportunities and fundraising opportunities for our students to participate in. Our PTO runs 2 fundraisers a year, one in the fall, one in the spring. Students who participate in these fundraisers, 50% of the profits of what they raise go towards their individual class trip. In addition to that, we have scholarships available through PTO, our student council, and other district partners through some of our, for example, community schools initiatives or other partners in the community. I know last year we did go to a local, I believe it was a group of parishes, and they sponsored one of our students. We, last year, I believe, I was trying to dig up the numbers for you guys, gave out about 10 full scholarships for students to attend. And we are pretty intentional about spreading the cost of the trip over many months. In this case, it would be about 3 to 4 months with small payments due minus what students have raised in their PTO fundraisers in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade combined. Are there any questions about the 8th grade trip, Peak and Peak Resort, or the structure of the financing of the trip?
Thank you so much.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, now we have our finance, facilities, and audit update.
Good evening, Superintendent Daly, Board President Coffey, Board President, Vice President Dr. Richards, and the Board of Education. Thank you for having me. I'm Dr. Mitch Ball, the Deputy Superintendent, here to share a Finance, Facility, and Audit Committee meeting report. So on the agenda, we had the annual review of the audit. One of the responsibilities of the audit committee, and it's one of the responsibilities that all districts have, is to review the financial statements and ensure that they're in compliance and the district is doing everything as they're supposed to be doing. And so the good news is through that audit process, under the leadership of Director of Finance Sally Sanford, we had a very clean audit. There were no comments or recommendations, which is a really good sign that everybody's doing their job very well. So kudos to that team. In terms of finance, we went over reserve allocations and fund balance. The reserve allocations and fund balance are aligned with a board-adopted fund balance and reserve plan, and this is another thing that we do at the end of the financial cycle as part of the audit, is to ensure that we're funding our reserves and fund balance per the plan. In terms of investments, Ms. Sanford updated the committee on the status of investment activity, noting that we're still maintaining our perfect 100 score, one of only 2 entities in the entire country, in terms of investments and strategic liquidity. In addition to that, shared that over the last 2 years, we've had over $6 million in interest earnings, which is a really big positive when thinking about our resources. We discussed the budget analyst, noting that we have a new position as part of the restructuring called budget analyst. That person is Daryl Wood. He's a newly hired employee, and he'll be helping us through the budget process. We also talked about the budget calendar, shared that with the board. That was adopted at our last board meeting. Just went over the important and critical pieces of that. In terms of facilities, we talked about the Building Brighter Futures project. I know that much of that was covered today. One thing we discussed is that there's some ongoing work at the district office. If you go through the main entrance, it's been closed, it's been open, it's going to be closed again on Monday, it's going to be open again, then it's going to be closed. That's because we're doing a bunch of work up there that was a little delayed, but is ongoing, and there will be a new canopy at that space. We discussed the Future Ready project and just went over Phase 1 and Phase 2 scope work. And then we went over the comprehensive long-range planning study and the details surrounding that. I know that you've heard more about that. We presented at the last board meeting on that. In addition to that, today Mr. Daly sent out a message to the entire school community internally to solicit interest in serving on various stakeholder and focus groups. I know that as of this moment, we had about 14 responses already. That was sent out at 2 p.m., so we're making good progress in getting some interest in participating. And that is the report. Are there any questions?
Thank you.
All right, thank you, and have a great evening.
You too. All right, now we have our student ex officio update.
Hi, I'm Keandre. I'm the student board representative. I just wanted to talk to you guys about some things that are happening in the high school. Next Friday, we have our Halloween breakfast, which is a long tradition in Gates Chile where the seniors dress up. We have a bunch of competitions, we win prizes, yearbook things, and it's just a long tradition that we're all waiting for. This past weekend, we had our homecomings, which was the biggest that I've seen here so far. We brought back the dance after like 10 years of it not being there. It was a big success. We sold over 400 tickets, and a lot of people had fun. I had fun. Our homecoming game, we're hosting one of the first sectionals games that we've hosted this Friday because we went on Friday. And then the parade was a success. I performed in the parade in the marching band, and we saw a lot of people, and it was just great to have the community come out. Let's see. We have our Fall Fest, which is on November 6th, which is just a great thing to highlight all the different things that our school has to offer. It's in the high school. And this Thursday, we have the Fall Drama, which is just a play that the high school hosts for this Thursday at 7 o'clock. And overall, like the pep rally, homecoming, the juniors won the pep rally, and then the seniors won Powder Puff, and let me see. indoor decorating. Seniors will indoor decorating, and that's it. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That moves us forward now to our consensus agenda. Can I have a motion to approve the consensus agenda? Dr. Richards, Ms. Jennings, any discussion? All in favor? The vote is unanimous. Can I have a motion to approve consensus items C through J? Mr. Winowski, Mr. Reinhardt, any discussion? All in favor? The vote is unanimous. That moves us on to action items. Be it resolved that the board approves the following tenure appointments. At the October 21st, 2025 meeting, as recommended by the Superintendent of Schools. Jody McKenzie in the tenure area of school social worker. Rebecca Scott in the tenure area of principal. Elizabeth Olivier Catone in the tenure area of elementary, and Sarah Musino in the tenure area of Director of Elementary Education. Can I have a motion? Ms. Minchella, Mr. Reinhardt, any discussion? All in favor? The vote is unanimous.
The disruption you all heard was the giddiness in the back of two people receiving tenure. Congratulations, Mrs. Musino and Mrs. Scott. Please sing the alma mater. We'll work on that.
Congratulations. All right, that moves us on to B, approval of the GC varsity baseball team trip to Orlando, Florida, March 25th through 29th, 2026. Can I have a motion? Mr. Long? Mr. Banowski? Any discussion? All in favor? The vote is unanimous. Can I have a motion to approve the GC Jazz Band trip to Baltimore, Maryland, April 17th through 20th, 2026? Can I have a motion? Let's see, Ms. Littlewood, Ms. Jennings, any discussion? All in favor? The vote is unanimous. You can text them now if you need to. Let's see, can I have a motion to approve the GC 8th grade trip, June 2026? Ms. Littlewood, Ms. Jennings, any discussion? All in favor? The vote is unanimous. Can I have a motion to approve a 3-year agreement effective July 1st, 2026 through June 30th, 2029 between the Gates-Chili Administrators Association and the Gates-Chili School District Superintendent? Can I have a motion? Dr. Richards, Ms. Davis, any discussion? All in favor? The vote is unanimous. Brings us on to superintendent comments.
As many of you have mentioned, Homecoming 2025 was quite a night. After a week of spirit days with all kinds of fun costumes and outfits, the pep rallies at the high school and middle school were loud and proud on Thursday and Friday. And then on Friday night, our first parade in years was a hit and a great start to our night celebrating GC, complete with GC Pride Friendship bracelets. The parade also featured many fall athletic teams, elementary school PTOs, our junior Spartans football and cheer, the marching band, our cheerleaders, and several community partners and more. These photos are courtesy of Ryan Ballinger. He really captured the spirit of our community. At halftime of our football game, we honored our 6 Hall of Fame inductees during a special ceremony on the field. After that, the marching band and Dazzling Diamonds majorette dance team put on an outstanding performance. And at the end of the night, the football team got the job done and now move on to sectionals. That sectional game will be at home this Friday night versus East Irondequoit. We're very excited to be hosting for the first time in a very long time. Because this is a sectional game, we do have to charge. It's $8 at the door or $7.33 online by going to gateschili.org/athletic schedules, then clicking on the ticket icon next to the game. And this week is also National School Bus Safety Week. A major focus of this year's campaign is on educating drivers to stop for school buses with flashing red lights and extending stop arms. as well as being mindful of students waiting at bus stops. Thank you in advance to everyone in our community who observes these signals in order to keep our Spartans safe. Today, Neil Armstrong Stars welcomed a special guest reader. Assembly member Damon Meeks stopped by to read to kindergartners. One of the books Meeks read to the students is Pete the Cat, 5 Little Pumpkins. After the read aloud, each student went home with a copy thanks to the generosity of the Scott Spino Foundation. Since our last board meeting, we brought our entire district staff together for our Superintendent's Conference Day. The day featured a keynote workshop with highly sought-after presenter Brian Mendler, who is an expert in school discipline, classroom management, and student engagement. Also, since the last time we met, the Walt Disney Elementary School held their annual Family Fun Night. The event featured pumpkin decorating, wagon rides, and a petting zoo. Kids and adults alike had a blast celebrating the season right in their own backyard. And looking for more fun fall opportunities, Paul Road is having their Harvest Fest later this week on Thursday, and Neil Armstrong will host their annual Autumn Extravaganza next Thursday, October 30th. And don't forget that we're only a couple weeks away from the Gates Chile Fall Family Fest. That event is on Thursday, November 6th, and will feature food, fun, games, and opportunities to speak with many local resources in our community. Coats collected as part of the Spartan Way Coat Drive will also be distributed at this event. A reminder, the collection of the coat drive begins on Monday, October 27th. You can drop off new or gently used coats, hats, gloves, and mittens until Friday, October 31st at any of our public school buildings, the YMCA on Elm Grove, Imagination Child Care Academy, and the Chili Public Library. And finally, tickets are still on sale for this Thursday's performance of Night of the Macabre and Super Scary. This one-night-only production by the GCHS Drama Club kicks off at 7 p.m. The next month, get ready to journey from the North Pole to the bright lights of the Big Apple with the middle school production of Elf Jr. Those performances will take place on November 20th through 21st, and tickets will be on sale November 1. That is my report, President Coffey.
Thank you, sir. Can I now have a motion to adjourn our meeting? Dr. Richards, let's see, Ms. Littlewood, any discussion? All in favor? Vote is unanimous. This meeting is adjourned. Thank you.